Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm a clinical therapist and I live in Michigan. And this is my second YouTube video. My first one was about personal compassing. I went through an exercise of how I would with my clients, both individually or in a group setting, on how to develop your own personal compass. And it's really 3 parts. And if you would, go back and watch that video and then come back to this one. But I'm just gonna, if you want to stick with this one, I'm gonna just kind of briefly go over it. So it's really looking at 3 aspects of your life, and in a pretty meaningful and impactful way. So we ask 3 questions of ourselves when we do a personal compass. The first question is, who am I? And we choose 5 attributes that describe really who we are at our best. They're more like virtues and they are like identifications, like I'm a worker, I'm a sister, I'm a brother, you know. It's more I am loving, I am kind, I am generous, I am patient. Those were, I believe, some of the examples that I gave in that first video. And then the second question goes into, why am I here? And one of the reasons I'm doing this video is to put some clarification in there. This why am I here really should kind of come off of who am I? So if I am loving, then why am I here? It may be to spread love to the lonely. Okay, so that would be in alignment. And then the third question is, what do I want? And if we stick with this, I am loving, I'm going to spread love to the lonely, then what would the third thing that you might want? Well, you may want to start a small nonprofit. You may want to identify a couple people in your community, in your workplace, in your place of worship, that you could actually practice this quality of like loving on somebody else. In my first video, I talked about how I used I am patient as one of my areas or one of my attributes that I decided I was going to work on a regular basis. So I decided that I would write I am patient on sticky notes and put it everywhere I go. And what I shared in my last video, and I laugh as I continue to think about it, is that when you identify as being something like I am patient and you feel pretty good on it, you know, not perfect, but pretty good, you will find out how quickly you are not patient. You know, with phone calls, with people, with interactions, in traffic, everywhere I was going, I was given these opportunities to demonstrate to me and to humble myself, to be honest with you. And the humility part of it was, I'm not always patient. And I can identify it with it, and I can aspire to be like that, but it's not the case all the time. And we're not perfect. So if we were using something difficult like that, or if we were trying to work on a characteristic about ourselves that is more challenging, that's great. But this video, what I want to explain to you is that you don't have to use the most difficult attribute. You don't have to pick the biggest challenge. You can actually pick one that you think you're fairly good at, or you feel like you identify. So maybe you pick kindness because you know you're kind. People comment on how kind you are, and so it is who you are already. However, I still encourage you to take the exercise the same way. Take sticky notes, index cards, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in your car, put it in your office place, wherever it is, put it in the book that you read every night. But put it anywhere, and then notice how many times you actually step out of your character. So we get a little comfortable in our attributes that we think we've mastered. And the truth of the matter is, we can never master any of them. They're not meant to be mastered. They're meant to be, you know, attributes and virtues are meant to be practiced and to grow. So if you are kind, and then you even find when you're wandering around the community, man, I got this down. I mean, I've not had anyone say I'm unkind. I haven't demonstrated anything unkind. Then okay, then you can identify I'm kind. But then I question you, and I question my clients on this as well. In this complacency of kindness, let's say, can you be kinder? And if you could, what would that look like? What would it look like to be kinder? Even more kind than you are now. And then circle back and see if I am kind, what can I do with that in my everyday world? What could I do with it in terms of purposeful living? And maybe just realign with that, or develop it further, as I said, be kinder. So I did want to circle back and just let you know that you don't have to be discouraged by developing a personal compass and then, like I said, getting in this sort of shameful, like, oh, I'm not patient, I'm not doing this right. Pick something that you actually just want to do. Like, it could be something in between, a medium thing. Like, maybe you consider yourself generous. And so could you be more generous? And like, what would that look like? And realign. And then the last thing I'm going to say before I sign off here is, remember that where you are right now in the season of your life right now is going to be different from another season in the future. It's different than a season in the past. And so this is not a one and done. This is not oh, I did my personal compass and now I know what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. It's not that. Every year people, New Year's Eve, people do these, what are they called? New Year's resolutions. I've done them. And what do they say? By the first week in February, whatever it is, it's gone. So, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to join a gym. I'm going to eat healthy. The list goes on and on, correct? So this can be in replacement of that New Year's resolution. So perhaps once a year, instead of, I'm going to join the gym and go 5 days a week or go every day and then fail, you could do another compass. Because ultimately, New Year's resolutions, as much as fun as they are, they're really about us. Like, improvement on us. Mainly physically improvement. We don't do a whole lot of, this year I'm going to volunteer more time. I mean, I'm sure some people do, but that's generally not the majority of them. So maybe this year, or this Christmas time or Hanukkah time, you could actually sit down, or maybe just annually sit down and go back through it. Save the one from before. Look at it. What does it mean to you now? Where are you at now in all these attributes and all this, why you're here and all this, what do you want? And I'm fairly certain some will stay the same and some will change. And hopefully the change is growth. That's the goal. Growth. Growth as a person, growth as in every area of your life, growth. So that is all for this video. And if you liked it, would you push that button that has like the thumbs up? And if you haven't already, will you please subscribe, as I plan to add more content. And just a last shout out to my brother Mark, who was the one that encouraged me to do another talk on personal compassing. I appreciate that. And any topics that you're interested in, any suggestions that you have for me, please don't forget to leave those comments. And I will see you next time. Take care.